The SAFE project, so the Sustainable and Accessible Food for Empowering Communities, is looking at empowering people to look after their own food sovereignty, so addressing food insecurity. We're also looking at reducing social isolation, building social equity, looking at gardening as a mental health tool, as well as bringing different cultural communities together that address systemic racism in the community. The SAFE Community Project is part of an initiative here at the Center for Immigrant and Community Services. We've been doing this since 2020 and offering a variety of different food programs that include our community garden, our food bank, this greenhouse, our raised garden beds, and our community kitchen. As food insecurity started to grow, inflation started to rise, we found more people were struggling with purchasing groceries because of the high cost. And at one point we were serving 210 households a week.
It's been hard because I'm on ODSP. I don't get a lot to live on. Rent is extremely high and there's nothing you can do about that. You have to pay it or you're gonna be homeless. And then you go into the grocery store and tomato, it's like $3. Like, it's ridiculous. You have to make a list of what you have at home and what you need to make a meal. Hopefully it'll be on sale when you get there, and if it's not, then you just kind of have to look elsewhere. And there has been times where I've gone without eating a meal or two in a day because we just didn't have enough.
The Canada's Food Guide, you need 8 to 10 fresh fruits, vegetables, or frozen or canned, and that is pretty much $200 out of the grocery store nowadays.
I get my money, my old age pension at the end of the month. There's just enough there to pay the bills. Especially when, if you don't have, I'm getting $1,700 a month and the rent is $1,700 a month, there's nothing left to buy groceries. There used to be more reduced available and somewhat quality reduced, but now it's very minimal and it's just real poor quality, like pretty much rotten, but they're still putting it up for sale for $1.69 for the little bag of whatever.
A lot of people, they don't even have the bus fare or the gas money to get to the food bank.
Yeah.
That's one barrier.
And I'd often do that for single mothers in our apartment building that don't have the money to come on the bus or the availability because of the young children and what have you. And so I do pick up food for other people, and you offer that service, so thank you for that.
The community garden itself is providing over 25 varieties of vegetables and fruit, and we're using that to supplement our food bank foods. It also, with our raised beds that have complemented our community garden, it's allowing people to grow their own food as well. So we provide them all the necessary tools, the seeds, the dirt, the water, everything they need to grow their own food. The impact that we were having is, well, at least we can supplement some of the food from our garden, because a lot of times going from 50 families to 200 families, we weren't able to provide as much food in each of the baskets. So we're doing our best to try and offset some of those costs. We've been grateful for a lot of our volunteers. We have over 50 volunteers to help with our food bank, and we're starting to get a growing number of volunteers helping in the garden.
Before, I used to volunteer at the school, and I find out some students, they don't have, maybe they have one meal a day. When I think of that, what can I do more for the community? I'm from Hong Kong, and my mom, when I was younger, my mom used to farming in the front yard. So when I come here, it's remind me my childhood. When I joined CSCS, I think, oh, it's amazing idea. They grow the vegetable here, and then they share with the community. They have food bank here.
One of the things I like most about coming here is everyone is treated the same. Whereas before, other food banks we had gone to, you'd be in a lineup and they'd be passing out yogurt, let's say one at a time, but their friend comes by, so they just shove an extra, And so I really enjoy being treated equally here and respectfully. Everyone gets the same.
The community garden has been around since 2012. The greenhouse is introduced to our facilities in 2022. And what it's allowed us to do is really get an early start on some of the seedlings, grow from seeds into our seedlings to ready for transplant into our community garden. But one of the things we really wanted to do is allow the greenhouse to be open to the public. And so we have a lot of different organizations that are using our greenhouse to start their own seedlings. We found which was readily available during the pandemic, especially from the federal funding, was capital. So it allowed us to, again, to build this greenhouse, to build the raised garden beds, to get our new garden shed up and running. However, infrastructure in the way of staffing has been very tight. It's been very difficult to find. So the funding we need is really to have the necessary human resources to keep this larger operation going. As we expand, we need more help.
I think I found my purpose here as a mom, and I have to take care of 2 children. And after they are growing up now, so I want to contribute more to the community. So that's why I want to help more. I learned a lot of the garden skill, lots of expert here. I learned a lot of the organic pesticide, organic fertilizer. When I learn it, I want to learn more. We can collaborate here. If others, we doing work together and so happy.
We have to support families, stop having families to make that choice between whether they pay rent, utilities, or put food on the table. That's really the biggest solution to this food insecurity.
It's been amazing. So having the fresh vegetables has just been a life changer.
I go home and I open these bags and I'll get a pound of bacon and some fresh tomatoes, sometimes out of the garden here. And I have bacon and tomato sandwiches for, I plan my diet around what I open and find for the following week, and to use it up while it's fresh and still good and everything. That's such a real treat. Like, there's no way I could go to the store and buy bacon, but you give me half of it and I've got a little bit at home, put it together, and it's a lovely feast. It's delicious and healthy.
What we want to do is create some of these models that allow people to take control over their food insecurity by growing some of the foods. What we want to do here is try and evaluate whether or not this is a sustainable model that we could use in the future, as well as could other communities adopt what we're currently doing and empower their community members to grow their own food. And that way, even though we're not going to eradicate food insecurity, hopefully we can reduce the effects on some of the families and reduce their impacts on accessing food banks. We're starting now again with some of the offering balcony and container gardens as well. So people may not have access to land, but they want to grow something at home. We're actually putting these kits together for them. We've actually been working really closely with Indigenous communities, and what they've been able to provide for us are workshops in the kitchen, as well as we have an Indigenous gardener who is doing workshops on Indigenous plants and how to grow certain vegetables, as well as some of the pest controls you can use organically.
I'm a kind of shy person. I meet a lot of volunteers here. I make friends here. It fills up my confidence a lot. The memorable thing is every time when I volunteer after, I feel so full of power.
We're very excited about this partnership that we have with Humber College, and what we're doing is introducing hydroponic and aquaponic systems into our warehouse, so it actually can grow food 24/7 all year round. A lot of the mixed greens and different types of vegetables, as well as fish. We can actually eventually harvest our fish. We're looking at tilapia. We'll actually be able to introduce that meat into the food bank as well. And our next step is actually giving it to some of the families to have their own smaller hydroponic systems inside their homes. Our next big step in the years to come is to look at giving the local schools a hydroponic system as well, and let them use that as a teaching tool for their families and their students.
When you come join CICS, it just makes me feel the big family here. I'm into the community. I'm one of the community, so I'm happy.
It's just helped so much because I struggle to buy food. I don't have enough money, and without this organization, which is a blessing to the neighborhood, I wouldn't be able to eat.
I'm over 70 and I have cancer. The fresh vegetables and variety of meat and dairy products allow me to have a healthy diet week to week. Thank you for saving my life.
One of the things that we hope to bring further into our community garden and raised bed is the introduction of more partners and organizations that represent the different cultures of Scarborough. We really want people to sort of come together in the garden, share their foods, their recipes, give them the ability to grow some of the cultural foods that they left when they left their homeland, and share their food with others of different cultures. And we hope that in the future is where we head to, with a larger community gathering at our space.